92.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, 14 minutes gone past the hour of 5. And for those of you who are listening, what happened yesterday almost happened today. I found it very difficult to get in contact with my guest because, yes, we'll be having a conversation over the phone and we will be talking for development nonetheless. But it's time for us to shift from what is happening with IPREP and the Ogoni people or the Ogoni youths. And let's move now to what is happening in River State. Of course, it's no longer news that yesterday 27 members of the House of Assembly, remember there's supposed to be 32, one is late, so we have 31, and 27 are set to have defected to the All Progressives Congress. Also, I should remind you that when INEC declared, all 32 were declared from the what do you call it now? Were declared winners from the PDP. 27 loyal to the FCT minister, as we hear, have moved now to the All Progressives Congress. Now, a couple of people have been speaking on this, but let's start with the PDP's reaction. The PDP is calling on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to declare the seats of the 27 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly who defected vacant. Now, in their statement, or in a statement by the national spokesman, Degbo Ologunagba, he called on INEC to conduct new elections in the 27 state constituencies of River State. The PDP said that according to the constitution, the seats of the 27 lawmakers have automatically become vacant as a result of their defection from the PDP, the political party under whose platform they were elected into the River State House of Assembly. The PDP also cited a Supreme Court judgment in that statement by Degbo Olugunagba. But let's also listen to what a constitutional lawyer had to say. I'm going to look at what two lawyers said before I get to my guest, who is also a lawyer, a doctor of law and a constitutional lawyer. And we're going to be talking for development nonetheless. So let's take a listen to what Professor Richard Wokocha had to say.
The other party can declare now that these ones are out of the assembly and they are the only members, and they call on INEC to do the needful or ask their party to send in nominations from those constituencies to replace them since they have abandoned their seat. So if the other faction knows what they are doing, it opens a new chapter for the crisis in the state. Under the law, an assemblyman who changes from his party to another party loses his seat to the party. He does not go with his seat unless there is crisis in his party or his party merges with another party. In the absence of those circumstances, under the constitution, if you move from your party to another party, you lose your seat. You stop being a member of the assembly. In the legislative assembly, seats belong to parties that won them, not the individual. If you move, your party is entitled to replace you.
All right, listen to Courage Insirumovu also as he gives his thoughts on this.
It's clear what we have been saying, that this assembly has been a rubber stamp assembly. They only follow the directive of the executive. They don't stand alone as an arm of government representing the people. These men are a failure, dishonorable, people who care about only their interests and do not care about the interests of the people. It's a shame, and this is not how democracy should be.
All right, I am Kala Dakuru Batbo. This is Hard Facts, and my guest, like I mentioned not so long ago, is a doctor of law and a constitutional lawyer. I'm talking about, we call him CAJ Chinwo, but I like to call him Chukwuma Chinwo today. Welcome on the show, Doc. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, Doc, can you hear me? Oh, my connection is terrible. Hello? I would have to do reconnections there, but I'm going to try one more time. Dr. CAJ Chinwo, can you hear me? Okay. I guess the lines are faulty. I'd have to reconnect there. But then again, these are the issues. Now, according to the Constitution, we are being told that once a person leaves a party and is a legislator or is a part of the legislative arm of government, he also would leave, whatever position he has if he's from the former party. And that's what the Constitution says, except there is a division. And so we're going to try to define division, because the PDP is saying that there is no division in their party, that the party is just one in Rivers State. There are no factions, there are no alternative leadership like we see in some other political parties or in some other parts where we could have two, chairman or chairmen. Chairman is the right word. I'm sorry about that. But I'm going to go back to the phone lines to see if I can get in touch with my guest. The lines are terrible. We have a terrible network situation these days in Nigeria. My goodness. But I really would love to get your thoughts. Remember, we're live on Facebook, Nigeria Info PH. We're live on YouTube as well, Nigeria Info PH. And we are active on X, Nigeria Info PH. So maybe I should go to the phone lines. Would you give me a minute or two to re-establish connection with my guest? It's crazy, the network situation, but we're still going to try so we can talk for development. But what are you thinking? Do you think the lawyers that we've just listened to are right in their observations or their interpretation of the law?
Hello.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, so I couldn't hear you for a bit, so I had to disconnect and reconnect. Welcome. Network situation. Okay, network situation terrible. So we listened to two other lawyers who have interpreted the Constitution as saying that once you leave your party as a lawmaker, then you should also leave the position as a lawmaker, because the Constitution says once you defect, you leave, except there is division in your party. And so now we're trying to find out what division is. But let's get your thoughts first. 27 lawmakers defect to the APC. What are your thoughts, first of all, as a lawyer, as a Rivers person, and someone who is politically savvy as well?
Well, thank you. I appreciate the views of my colleagues, which I was taking.
Okay.
It's unfortunate the kind of people that we have had, particularly this fact that in House of Assembly of Rivers State. You talk about those who represent a constituency, who are responsible, who know their rights from their left, and who know what is right and wrong, and who have political savviness. Unfortunately, this gang we have shown that they are completely bereft of ideas. Like Professor Wokocha rightly said, there's a Supreme Court decision which has already told you that if you leave your constitutional provision, if you leave your party on which you are elected, when there is no factionalization in that party and go to another party, you automatically leave your seat. Now that the Supreme Court decision, there's no need to go to court for press, there's just to go and ask for just INEC to please conduct the election. Like in my constituency now, it means that Martin Zamewule has resigned without consulting us, without talking to us, and resigned his position as a member of the House of Assembly of Rivers State. And that has happened to 27 of them. And they are causing their laws to smash their faces, or they will say. They want to know what they've done to deprive themselves of the capacity to do any evil. If their plan wanted to stay as a hand, impeach governor, now they cannot. There are no more members of the House. They are not legislators. So they can't impeach anybody. I saw them just yesterday. I saw that this is a similar group of who don't understand what they're doing. So that is what is this unfortunate situation. I don't know who is all of hand and they are representing us. So what the local church said is correct, and what the Chinwo also said, they are right on the point.
Doc, let me come in now before we go for our first commercial. Now, are you saying that they don't have an argument because they cited division in the party as a reason for their defection. When you look at the politics in Rivers State, I mean, they've been attempting to impeach the governor of Rivers State. He's also a PDP member, and from the way we look at politics in Rivers State, the governor is usually seen as the leader of the party in the state. So could that be the reason why they left? Because they're having issues with each other.
They started reason. They said the issue of the national secretary. National secretary is in charge of the party. It's not a division. It's not a cause of division. Not even the national chairman was because talk about national secretary shows. I don't know who advised them or who told them that was the reason. It is that a national secretary of the party is to attend the secretary of government of Rivers State or of Nigeria. Does not attend the government of Rivers State. If the secretary of government is in Rivers State, for instance, time is the right of it's removed. Presuming there's a split in the government of Rivers State, PDP secretary is not a faction of the party. So from their own confession, they didn't have any issue. The party is not a faction.
All right, Doc, let's go for a commercial break. When we come back, we continue.
Dive into the festivities and score big this season from December 1st to 31st. Purchase any Spark 20, Pop 8, Camon 20 or Techno Phantom series preloaded with Google apps and unwrap an instant gift. But that's
7 minutes to the top of the hour. I'm speaking with Dr. CAJ Chinwo, and we are looking at the situation in River State. We're looking at that situation. Welcome back, Dr. CAJ Chinwo. Welcome.
Thank you, caller.
All right, so let's get your thoughts. You were saying before the break that the reason why they went in, for the defection was because of the National Secretary. Can you expatiate on that? Can you explain further, please? Can you hear me? Oh, my. All right, I'm guessing we're back to... Hello, can you hear me, Dr. Seiji Chinwo? The phone lines are really terrible. Talk and all of that stuff. So you can try to call me in the studio and let's get your thoughts. Do you see division in the PDP? Because if the constitution is clear that division is the only reason for defection, do you see the division in the PDP? Because the PDP has made a statement and they said there's no division in the party. And I'm wondering what your thoughts are. 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. Let's get your thoughts and let's talk for development. You can send me a WhatsApp message instead to 0809-030-6416. Let's talk and let's talk for development while I try to re-establish connections with my guest. All right, this one says, our government at state and national leadership are not helping matters in terms of providing good governance to the citizens. This political rascality is not the best approach. Let them not deny our hard-fought democratic governance by giving room for anti-democratic forces. That is not good for democracy. For every citizen who voted the government, every member who suffered risked their life and sacrificed to get Governor Fuwara in power should protect democracy for utmost peace and stability and development of our state. Jimbo Baraye Karibon Nelson from Ogutown. All right, let's start with Clinton. Clinton, welcome. What is on your mind? Let's get your thoughts.
The challenge we have in this part of the world is to suit the narratives of one particular person or an individual. Now, you are citing that there is a division in the party. Which party? Because last I checked, the PDP in Rivers State are not divided. In terms of party executive, there's no balkanization in the PDP. So where is the division? So if we are going by the constitution, these people are gone. They are goners. So what the governor should do now is to submit his budget proposal to the 4 lawmakers left, because those are the ones known by the constitution. That's just it.
All right, then. Thank you very much. Let's move on now to the next caller. Hello, what's your name? Where are you calling in from? Or rather, Wellington from Africa. Sorry, I'm distracted, but just welcome. Let's get your thoughts.
Matobo, like the barristers have said, that these lawmakers, unfortunately, they find their way to the House of Assembly, Rivers State, and proven that the advisors never also taught them how law is being made. Nigerian constitution is also being wrong. So they have taken their decision. But what Rivers people is telling them directly, that we are behind the governor, Amopu Siminala Efobara, and we are waiting for the governor to speak in respect to this situation, because the governor is the security of the state. He decides who and what that is going to happen in the state. And definitely we got on his side and the people on his side going to come out successfully. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, thank you very much. Let's listen to Ken. Ken, welcome on the show. Let's get your thoughts, please. Let's hear from you.
Good afternoon, Canada.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Canada, the reason why the 27 lawmakers defected to the APC is to effect the impeachment of the governor.
That is Ken. We don't do assumptions on the show. That's an assumption. It's not been spelled out. Moreover, there is a court order saying that the impeachment process cannot continue until the case is settled. So that's an assumption on your part.
Okay, I withdraw my assumption according to you. But in a nutshell, I think the act of these 27 lawmakers has shown the state that the governor was indirectly suffocating in the hands of those who don't want his focus or progress to the state. And for them, I will see this move by them as a blessing to the governor. For him to have a breath in order to know where he is having his issues in the sense of House of Assembly. For them to lose their seat is to tell us that the governor now have every right and every audacity without having any directive from above, according to them, to operate the state as he wants. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much for your time. Let's keep those calls coming in and let's get your thoughts and let's talk for development nonetheless. Oh my, I still cannot connect to my guest. It's crazy. I'm trying my best and I'm sounding a little bit distracted because I've got a lot of questions I want to ask him. But let's, while I'm waiting for the call screener as well, let's take this call, or rather this message. Good evening, Kalada Kuru. The defected lawmakers in the River State House of Assembly to APC. Well, freedom of association is allowed and this is a welcome development. Let them go. Some of them, when they were in PDP, their constituents did not have access to them and have a word with them, and their value system in politics have declined. In River State politics, I'm strongly behind Governor Fubara Wanate Clinton West. I've got George, and George is calling from Port Harcourt. George, welcome. What is on your mind?
Okay. Good evening.
Yeah, welcome.
Now, you talked about crisis in PDP.
Yeah.
And it could be the only condition for which there could be defection. And I want to ask, what does it take to have crisis in PDP? What does it take? It can be sponsored. Even right now, they can just pick anybody to claim to be fractional chairman or whatever, and before you know, they have excuse for why.
But like you said, George, like you said, yes, they can pick. But have they picked? They have not picked. I'm wondering, have they done that? Because if they have not, then there is no crisis. I mean, I get your theory.
We don't know that, but maybe they have the reason why they have left, and they understand the situation for which they can, the conditions for which they can switch from one place to the other. So all this could be in place. Don't whine Wike know everything he's doing. After all, there's already crisis in national. The 5G.
So what makes you think? The 5G are not executive members. I mean, they are just aggrieved members. What makes you think?
It's also crisis. It's a problem. What do we? If you want to explain crisis, how do we define crisis?
All right then.
People are not agreeing.
All right then. All right, I get your point. Richard from Omuwa. Richard, welcome. Quickly, I've got my guest back, so quickly I want to answer the calls. Yeah, welcome.
Greetings to my senior colleague at Chinwo.
All right.
Section 109, sub 1G, have categorically stated what is meant to disable the 27 of psychopath assembly members.
You didn't have to put the sycophants there.
Hello?
I said you didn't have to put the sycophants there. You didn't have to say all of that.
Sorry?
All right, no problem. Your thoughts are noted. Let's move on now. Gospel Malakaya, welcome. What is on your mind, please?
Yeah, Kalaga, good evening.
Yeah, welcome.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
I think the matter of Ghana is very simple. The lawyer has interpreted everything. So I should do the needful.
All right.
The 7 members should just go their way and allow Rivers State to be in peace.
All right then. All right. Thank you very much. I have my guest back on the phone. Welcome back, Dr. Chinwo. Sorry about the network situation.
Thank you very much.
All right. So I was asking before, I couldn't hear you anymore. I was asking you about what you were saying before we went for the break. You said something like the national secretary being removed is the reason why the law. Okay. So can you explain further on that?
Yes, an officer of the party. An officer of the party is not the same as a faction of the party.
Okay.
So the national secretary is only an officer of the party.
Okay.
And just like the secretary of an organization, the point that there is no secretary or there's a disagreement as a secretary does not make the organization to say it is split. So these people shot themselves on the foot when, instead of contriving any other reason, they are looking at the office of secretary. We have no, the non secretary of the PDP, there's confusion of the secretary. That utterly shows that there's no faction. So they have resigned from their membership of the House.
Okay.
And INEC has a duty to quickly conduct elections.
Yesterday we were talking and someone called, and we were talking about this actually, and someone called and said something about the Speaker of the House, has a role to play in lawmakers vacating their seats, or in how lawmakers vacate their seats. So he's saying if a lawmaker defects from the party that brought him to the House, that it is the Speaker who, with evidence, will prove, I think 109 subsection 2, I think something like that. It is the Speaker who would now go through the whole motion and process. But in this case, if we're looking at the 27 lawmakers and we're going with some of the court orders that we have seen, by the way, there is a new court order today, but if we're going with some of the court orders that we have seen, that means Martin Samuel as Speaker would be the one to conduct that process, right? What's your take on that?
No, all it means is that for instance, the Constitution says when a member is dead, the Speaker will announce it in the House. If the Speaker is dead, does it mean the House will not operate? Or if all the members of the House are dead, does it mean the House will not will not acknowledge that? The Speaker is among the 27 now. They have all resigned. They have all raised their other plans. They didn't know the belief what they did. The belief is that there are no more members of the House. So automatically, it's like a self-evaluation. The Speaker have led the people to commit a mass suicide, mass membership suicide. So whether he announced it or not, the secretary he announced it yesterday, and all of them have crossed over. He has announced it. So if that has been done, it's not an issue.
Okay. Doc, look at it from let's go back in time. So it started with the burning of the Aloe chamber, and then we saw the suspension of 4 members, and then we saw the back and the forth, of course, the court order, and Edison coming out to say he's Speaker as well. And when you look at all the things that have played out in the past months up until now, would you say Edison now can rightly claim speakership, and the governor can pass the budget in front, or can what do you call it now, submit the budget to the Edison faction of the House of Assembly?
No. Edison is not, would not have been a Speaker of the House, like I told you.
Yeah.
The constitutional number, constitutional number in the House of Assembly of Rivers State. So even if all the people he has vote for him, they are not up to the quorum. The House has to have a quorum before it will elect, and like I told you last time, he has to sit in the legislative, the parliamentary venue.
Okay.
And parliamentary time. They have never done that. So everything is a no issue at all. It's a no-brainer for the purpose of what we're saying and the purpose of constitutionality. Even though you will call him as a faction, and he proposes to suspend my member of the House.
No, we call him faction or factional Speaker for the sake of description, the easiest way we can. I mean, the people who do that actually. Okay.
A preponderant majority terminated, expelled, or suspended unlawfully, suspended 4 of them. So they are out of the place. And one of the suspended action outside. And all that he did is so the government please shouldn't take our budget to a 3-man committee, a 4-man committee.
But now,
in the house, they don't consider the quorum. All the government will do is to set before the constitution to be standing as the constitution to sign all that he spent last year until it is ratified.
Dr. Chinwo, now the reason why I asked that question is because you've just said the 27 lawmakers resigned automatically by their defection. And so I'm asking now, if that is the case, then can the law recognize these other 4 people? And Edison claims is the speaker of the 4 people. I mean, are they able to form a quorum now?
No, the law recognizes them as the remaining remnants of the house. The law recognizes them as remnants of the house. But this remnants of the house cannot form a quorum.
Oh, I see.
This remnant cannot form a quorum.
Okay.
It means that the house for now is kept in abeyance. These 4 people are entitled to their salaries, but they cannot operate as a house because their number is not complete.
Okay.
It's like if the speaker comes in the morning of a particular day, and they say, we want to our members, and members are from the quorum, they won't sit, they don't move it.
Okay.
So it's the same thing now. We just have the wait for Alex to promote the nation. Because you see what happens now, if this legislation of the president acts on the proper person, maybe the class, it means that they cannot even come back and say, we have come back, we have changed our mind, though. They cannot come back and say, we have changed our mind.
Are you serious? So they cannot say it was a joke.
Sorry?
They cannot come out and say it's a joke, that they were joking.
No, they can't say it's a joke. This is not a prayer word. They can't say it's a joke. And the government cannot present, even if the government were right to receive their budget now, government cannot present budget before them because they are not concerned members of the house. It's an implication.
Yeah.
The government cannot even present budget, even if they are all citizens, the government are waiting for you, bring your budget. Government cannot present budget to them because they are not legislators anymore. By the constitution and the Supreme Court.
Okay. Now, Dr. Chinwo, this is Nigeria, and sometimes we have political solutions to certain issues. So what if all the warring parties, the governor, Edison, Martins, Wike, all of them come together and say, you know what, we're not fighting anymore. Let's shake hands. We're brothers. We are friends. We are, political mates and all of that stuff. Can we still, as a people now, can we push and say, oh no, this is against the law? Can we do that?
Yes, I'm saying we can, and I am doing that. I'm saying this now, and I start it. They cannot do it. See, when you have destroyed the house, you cannot come and say you have people taking out anymore because the foundation has been destroyed. This is what when it comes to issues of constitution, it's not left to private interpretation. You can't do it the way you like.
Okay.
So it should be somebody outside before you take an action.
So go ahead.
What is needed to prove that the signatures and those documents belong to them, and that they are the owners of those signatures, and the letter was properly tendered. Once that was done, they are gone.
So they have to prove. Okay, so I'm wondering now. My goodness. So all we have to do now is to find the document of their defection, and then we'll be able to follow the letters of the law.
Exactly. And then give it to INEC and say, INEC, please, based on the provision of the Constitution and the decision of the Supreme Court, please conduct an election for us now. We need somebody in the house.
Okay. So there is no other way they can claim division except there is a faction that the party is factionalized. There's no other way. Oh my.
Factionalization is not a contrivance. You can't wake up and contrive it. It's a factual thing that must be proved. So, and their own is worse because they specifically said that their father is no national secretary. National secretary is not a faction of the party.
Okay.
Whether he's there or not, it doesn't see the party. It's just an agent of the party.
Now, let me ask this question.
A servant of the party.
Let's say all the picture we've painted on the show happens, manifests, and then we go back to the polls. Can these same people contest? Can they contest?
If the party gives them, if the party nominates them, but not for the 2023 election. You understand?
No.
INEC will not call now for them to the voting they are about to become.
No,
INEC will not because of those who are candidates.
What I'm saying.
If they are contesting now, they will contest in the new party.
Okay.
And the party has to do primaries.
Okay.
And all that before that happens.
All right.
So it depends on what what INEC does to say, okay, we are going to call for fresh nomination of people to contest the election.
All right. Okay. That's how much time we have on the show. So I would have to say my goodbye. The network really did not let us talk extensively, but I have so many other questions I want to ask you. But thank you nonetheless, Dr. Chinwo. I do appreciate.
Thank you, sir.
All right, then. So you've heard him. You've heard all the things he had to say. They cannot come back and say, "Oh, I was joking." April Fool, or in this case, December Fool. No, they can't do that. And the party has to be factionalized for it to be said to have been divided. So we'll talk about this and many more. There's a commercial break coming up. After the commercial break, news at 6, and then you and I will continue talking. To stay tuned.